Evening, Timmy, Diana, Tom, Debbie, Alison, Kia, Sandy, Darren. Knife, tried to ring you earlier, Knife. Two seconds, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Just waiting for somebody to come live. Here he is. Hopefully. Good evening, Craig.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right, mate. Right, guys. Everybody who doesn't know Craig, he's set up USAC. He's trying to do the same for South Africa as we are in this country. He just wants to get it back to where it was before, where it's no corruption, no tyranny. So I'll hand it over to you now, Craigie boy. Explain all about it.
How's it going, eh? So the United South African Coalition is basically non-racist, non-binding organization that just refuses to accept the fact that we replaced apartheid in 1994 and refused to put it back. Since 1994, 500,000 people have been murdered down there. 70,000 of them are whites. The systematic murder of all the farmers, and it's not just robbery like they want to say it's crime. It's not crime. It's deliberate torture. Listen, when you take a father and cut his eyelids off and force him to watch his 2-year-old baby crucified on a table and raped and then burnt, they sodomized this father. They sodomized every one of the family. They raped all of the children. Then they killed them. When they arrested these guys, they admitted to doing. And this is every single week. There was not so long ago a British family that was down there visiting each other. Same thing happened to them. 15 minutes after the video was taken, one of them was dead. They tortured them for hours, literal hours. They take drills and they drill people's knees out. They drill them in the head. They wrap towels around their heads and pour hot water over their heads. They literally torturing these people. And one farmer a week is dying there. The South African government has 75% of the non-used land in South Africa. But yet they want to take the land from the whites because all they're doing is making an excuse and using racism to cover up the fact that they have stolen every single thing they can tie down. Eskom is collapsing. China gave them money. US gave them aid. Britain just gave them 58 million pounds. 58 million pounds to steal the land from the whites down there. That chicken leg, what's her name, May, that stupid cow went and gave the ANC, the racist ANC, who has 164 laws against white people can't get jobs. She gave him 50 million pounds to take the land with no compensation. So she's tantamount. Basically, she is complicit in human rights violations.
Exactly.
And I realize that you guys are in a mess with Brexit, but that just tells you what's really going on. Look at the politicians fighting Brexit. Go look at their bank accounts. I'll guarantee you 90% of them have been bribed already till the hilt. And they stuck between a rock and a hard place because they sold their souls to these criminals across the water.
Exactly.
Guaranteed. And another thing too, you know, in South Africa, I'm not against black people. I'm not against white people. I'm not against nobody. Look, there's heavy right wing there. There's heavy left wing. There's the middle people. And 90% of them are just trying to survive. It's that 10% that's the nightmare in the country. They're the ones that are causing all these problems. And I'm not going to shut up. Listen, you got Harry and Meghan Markle came there last for 10 days. And for 10 days, I screamed on the internet, what are you doing there? What are you doing there? What are you doing there? In that time, people don't realize 5,600 people were murdered in the 10 days that they were there. In the 10 days that they were there, 4,800 women were raped. They never said a goddamn thing. They could have done something. Again, we come find out today, they did a documentary while they were there. And guess what? The whole thing was staged. All the dances were staged, they were paid for. When they went to District 6, they literally cleared that whole road. In one of the most dangerous areas in South Africa, they cleared it for 2 miles so that they could walk down there, look like nothing was going on. Suddenly, Meghan Markle is now black. She says, oh, I'm a woman of color. Listen, on her resume in Hollywood, she stated she was Caucasian. Suddenly she comes to South Africa, she's using South Africans. They're using our people and never stated what's really going on. Oh, if you watch my YouTube channel, just call me Hawk. There's 5 videos or 6 videos that I did on the corruption. Over $6 trillion gone. And they can't account for it. Listen, Britain came to South Africa, and I don't have nothing against the British people, but you got to realize what they did to the Afrikaner down there during the Anglo-Boer War is nothing but tantamount to concentration camps, and what they did is over 26,000 women and children were murdered, literally starved to death on the island of Santorini during the Anglo-Boer War. Listen, I'm British. Montgomery, goddamn, right? My family go all the way back to the Bruce. My great-great-grandfather was Dr. Livingston's cousin, direct cousin. My actual grandfather was nominated for the Victorian Cross. But what's happening in South Africa is a tragedy. Listen, the Afrikaans people came there in 1652. They were abandoned there by their own people. They formed their own living, their own tribe, their own people. They know nothing about Europe. In 1800s, the blacks came from the north. Listen, I don't care who you are. If you're born in a country, it doesn't matter what color you are, that's the country you're born in, and that's the citizenship you are. So from 1652 until today, every single child born there is an African. Africa's not a goddamn color.
No.
It's not a color. People don't get it. So listen, so they use race. These politicians are using racism because that's the excuse they can only use. It's the only excuse they can use to cover up the fact that they've been stealing this money. Listen, why are all the black people after 25 years still living in the townships, in squalor, while politicians are driving around in Maseratis and BMWs, and the services have collapsed? Nobody's got electricity. Electricity's going every day. Listen, they just loaned them more money, and they're back to load sharing again. It's about to collapse. Why? Guess what they did? As soon as they got into Eskom, they removed all the white guys that were running the job. Oh, we don't need you anymore. We're going to replace you with a guy that got his degree from a Photoshop guy in Johannesburg for $300, who says he's got an engineering degree. Meantime, the guy went and paid $300 and got a certificate that says he's an engineer. Guess what happened? The whole place collapsed.
Yeah.
They just did it again. The guy that's in charge signed a contract after they just got loaned money. They just signed another contract and gave it to his own family members again. And again, the nepotism. Nothing got done. So it just shows you the ridiculous situation they got there. Now you've got Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, coming to England, right? And he's on his hands and knees asking for investments, and he's asking for skilled labor that's already there, the South African whites. That's the skilled labor. No, he wants to hire foreigners to come down there and fix the mess that they made, because then they don't have an excuse to kill him. You understand what I'm saying, right? So there's Ramaphosa complaining about colonial money, and he's in England begging you guys for money to invest in a country. Why would you invest in a country when they're stealing the white people's land? So how much guarantee have you got that your people that go down there to invest will even be able to keep their land or even keep their investments when they're burning everything down? Factories get burnt down. Schools get burnt down. They're even robbing the police stations at night. Did you know that they have to hire security companies to guard the police stations at night because they're getting robbed? What country in the world do you ever heard that crap before? It's absolutely insane. Listen, 56 people were murdered a day there. One woman is raped every 3 minutes. It's actually more than that. They're as young as 2 years old. You know that South Africa has a granny rape rate, a woman rape rate, a daughter rape rate, a baby rape rate, and a boy rape rate, and a man rape rate. Did you know that? The UN classed South Africa as the highest murder rate in the world, 500,000 people since 1994. Now, the rhetoric is that in 1948, when South Africa got independence from England, right? Since 1948 to 1994, only 21,000 people were murdered. That's political murders and crime and everything. 21,000 people in the period of apartheid. How do you justify 500,000 people since 1994? You can't. And every time you confront them, they say, no, it's just crime. It's just crime. It's not crime when you take an iron and iron an old lady, 80 years old. You iron her arms and her legs. You take blow torches to people. You rape an 80-year-old woman while you're cutting the husband that she slept next to for nearly 30 years of her life, 40 years of her life. While you're cutting his throat, you're raping her. How do you justify this? Why is nobody talking? Why is nobody talking? It's bullshit. Yeah, you got Prince Harry goes down there. He never said one thing, nothing. He went in, he put the blue suit on that his mother did, walked down a street that was already, it was a scam. It was all staged. Listen, that kid could have been a man today. He could have been a hero. He could have said something. During the I think it was 1992, I'm not sure, when Eli Wiesel stood there and they were giving him a prize for the human rights for genocide. It's a genocide memorial. He turned to Clinton, Bill Clinton, and said, listen, what's the point of giving me this prize if you don't do something about Bosnia? And that was 2 years before Srebrenica, the massacre of Srebrenica. That was 2 years before. He warned them then. It was only then that the Americans got involved. I'm saying no more. I'm saying you fight now. And there is a law that just got passed by President Trump, the Eli Wiesel law. It's a prevention of genocide. And nobody's doing a thing about it. You watch CNN. Oh no, nothing's happening in South Africa. Everything's good. They put Al Sharpton on there saying, oh, only two white people died. They're talking nonsense. He wouldn't last 5 minutes in one of those townships. He'd be dead. Right now in South Africa, it's a nightmare. Women can't go to the store without being raped. Little girls can't go to school. And the police do nothing. They do nothing. The farmers are getting attacked every day, every single day, and there's one murder a week. A week. Has to be stopped.
Yeah. And this is why I said, come on here, Craig, because a lot of people in the UK don't know nothing, don't even know what USAC is. So we've got to start speaking to each other.
Yeah. Here's the thing too. You got a lady over there, I don't know what her name, Yolanda something or other. She's mad because we had an interview about a year ago. She's telling me I'm a right-wing white dragon. I told her stop drinking green tea and watching the Game of Thrones because the dragon's in your backyard.
Yeah. That's Yolanda Kenwood.
Yeah, that's the one. She's going off. Yeah, she's going crazy off Looney Tune, going crazy. And I know where she spent her last Christmas, so she better keep quiet.
Yeah.
Need to ask her about her front door. Why was the front door kicked in by the city of Kent?
Yeah. She's attacked us, like I said. She attacked us and they claimed us of something in 2008. And we wasn't even formed until 2015, 16. That's how bat crazy she is. But
so I put a video up on YouTube of all the deaths, all the murders, and if anybody wants it, just write to me. It's hawkshield10@gmail.com. It's all small case. hawkshield10@gmail.com. So I'll send you the video. Now there's one or two pictures in there that may have been from Zimbabwe. So now she's got her head in a spin. Oh, you false claiming. All the other pictures of people murdered, raped, tortured, cut to pieces, and even got a young girl that had a mop inserted in her that came out of her neck, right? That's not good enough. Or the girl that's hung upside down and slit from her privates to her throat. These are, people need to see this stuff. It was taken down by YouTube. I knew they would do it, but I needed that message out. Listen, it's pointless talking about this if we don't show you what's really going on. This is happening every single day. Yeah. They hacked a poor colored girl the other day. They hit her over the head with a panga, right? For her shoes, bro. For her shoes. They stole her shoes, that's all.
And the thing is, Craig, what people don't realise is it's happening there at the moment, but with everything that's coming here into this country, it ain't going to be long before they start doing it here.
Yeah, exactly. Now, listen, you guys didn't change the pound for a reason. You didn't go to the euro, you stayed with the pound. Because you knew, in the end, you'd have to change. Listen, Churchill just rolled over in his grave about 30 times in disgust.
Yeah. That's why we now with the Constitution, if we go into lawful rebellion, we have the right to do what we're doing and we're protected by the Constitution. That's why we're getting everybody now into lawful rebellion so we can do something about this problem.
The problem is you got to realize in government, right? There's only a small amount of people, like South Africa, 500 people run a whole 40 million people, same as the US. There's 545 people in the US that run 300 million people. And they take the word of idiots, right, and blow it out of proportion. And people get sucked into their nonsense. Listen, I don't understand how you guys tolerated Theresa May for so long. She's a dumbass, and she was in with Brussels the whole time.
Yep.
Boris, whatever his name is. I don't get it.
But
Listen, understand what he's trying to do. Listen, get out. Otherwise, you're done. They will control you forever. The U.S.
exactly.
government, Trump told you guys, the minute you get out, we'll give you trade. You'll have more trade than you can handle.
Yeah.
And now in the States, now we got these Democrats with this idiot Soros trying to commit a coup. They trying to they do a coup d'etat on our president, yeah, in the States. And it's nonsense because they're behind closed doors trying to pull a coup d'etat on our people, and it's wrong.
Yeah. It is wrong. This is what we're saying. And if you look at Spain now, Spain kicking off, France are kicking off, Italy, everywhere in
Yeah,
Europe's kicking
everywhere.
off, but the mainstream media not showing it.
This is where it's got to go. And now you got to realize too, Facebook's blocking us too.
Yeah.
Facebook started blocking me. Anything I post on USAC, it gets blocked. I get banned, put in jail every week. So I went to YouTube. And then I'll go, I'm going, yeah, YouTube's doing it too now. And I'm going to go, I'll start 3 or 4 different outlets to do it as well. Because we got to get this message out. People need to say something.
Yeah.
I want the British people to realize something. What you have done is abandoned your own people in South Africa. If you remember the 1820 settlers, they came from Britain. All those descendants are left behind. And now Britain's giving that same ANC government money to steal the land from them without compensation and allowing them to murder these people. They're getting murdered, and atrocities are unbelievable. Okay, so now you got to realize something. In 1994 or 1990, there was a group of very high-profile people with a lot of money who owned all the mining, all the infrastructure, most of the industry, right? Anglo-American, De Beers, Sir Anton Rupert, Oppenheimers, all these rich people. They sat the ANC down and told them in the 90s, Russia just collapsed. You have no support. And they were told, the ANC was told back then, you have no support from Russia. Because then the USSR had collapsed. They sat them down and said, you will knuckle down to what we're going to tell you what to do. You're going to do it our way. And they did. How do you think Ramaphosa became a billionaire? They just put money in their pockets and they walked out the door. And it wasn't until Mandela died and they put that idiot Zuma in there, the whole thing spun around right away. Because by this time they were saying, we don't care. We're just going to steal everything because it's going to collapse anyway. We don't have control. Why they don't have control? It's because of those guys. Harry Oppenheimer is the main one. Anton Rupert, all those guys. Now you've got another problem in your country. You got Julius Malema there, who's the leader of the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters, who's literally calling for the killing of white people. Guess who's funding him? People from Britain. He's always there. So who's funding him? Here we go again. Absa Bank. Go look on Absa Bank's statements. Ramaphosa's name's there, Julius Malema's name's there, Andile Masatama's name's there, Ace Matula's name's there. All these people, they're getting funded out of Absa Bank, which comes from Britain. And they're killing thousands of white people down in South Africa. And they know it's doing it, and guess what they're doing it for? To rape the country again. They want the mineral rights.
Yeah. That's all it's about. It's the same here. What people don't realise, you're going to have 15 people unelected from Brussels, and they're going to be telling you when you can go to the toilet, when you can do this, when you can do that. And they'll be just come, if they want your house, they'll just come and take it. We've been saying this for 3 years, and people just think we're taking the piss, but we're not. It's the truth.
Well, look at Greece.
Once,
Look
yeah,
at Greece. Look what happened to Greece. Greece got into the European thing. They told them, no, you can't just go open a little store over here anymore like they used to do. That's how the economy ran. You don't need to go down to the store and to the government buildings and get a paperwork and whatever and whatever. You could just open a store and make money.
yeah,
Their trade unions were the biggest problem there. They had got rid of the trade unions, the country would have survived. Right? But as soon as they went to the European common market, it was
yeah,
over for them. They couldn't do it. Why? Because you can't live on the dole. They can't. Nobody's paying taxes. It's impossible. And instead of being the drachma, they now went to the euro. Nobody can afford to go to those islands. It's taken them years and years to get that economy back on its feet, and it's still battling. And now Spain, all of them, they can't afford that. And Brussels, those guys, go look at all those politicians. They're making billions in their own pockets. And they're not doing anything for you people. Nothing. That's why the Frenchies are going crazy. The Spanish are going crazy. You watch, it's going to go all over. It'll spread like a parasite everywhere. People are sick of it. People are sick of it.
yeah.
Look at
But
South Africa. Look at South Africa.
Carry on, sorry, Bob.
Look at South Africa. 25 years. They haven't built new schools, new hospitals. Even the Johannesburg General Hospital has no money to do operations anymore because they don't have any equipment. They don't have supplies. The beds are literally outside in the street. You know why? They sold them. They sold them. They sold everything. They even, there's a video going around where you show you all the pylons, where people have gone and cut the bottoms of the pylons out to steal the metal, that the main 33,000 kV lines are falling down. And nobody does a thing. They're even going in the streets and cutting the lampposts off and stealing the wire out. Nobody does a thing. When you go to the police station and you say, hey, they're doing something down the road, and it's video after video, they won't do a thing. They just sit there. You go in there and say, my house was robbed. They won't even take a statement from you. They don't even have DNA. They don't have DNA departments anymore, or even fingerprint departments anymore. They've collapsed. They've got no money. The money got put in the politicians' pockets. And why are you guys giving them aid? Don't give them aid. Don't support them. They need sanctions. This is a terrorist organization, was given a country, and all they became was criminals. They're human rights violators. When you take somebody's land, it's like me coming to your house, Gary, and just taking your house and saying, hey, you have to leave because you're a white guy. I'm taking your house. This used to belong to some Viking about 300 years ago or 3,000 years ago. So I'm going to give it back to the Vikings, but you ain't getting it. You see? It's wrong, buddy. You can't do that. So what are they going to What are they going to
come
do?
in now, Craig. That's going to come here. They're already planning a bank crash. We all know the bank crash is coming. And because it's digital, not cash anymore, you'll get to the bank one day, no matter how much money you've got in, it'll have say 0, 0, 0, 0. And there ain't going to be that you can do about it.
Yeah, because they control your lives.
Yeah.
But we got to fight.
You've got to take back control everywhere.
It's unbelievable. And the problem too, you guys have got a big problem in London. Big problem in London. That mayor that's over there, the Muslim guy.
Yeah, we arrested him last year, by the way, but nothing was done because the people don't back it.
Listen, you've had more terrorist attacks since he's been there, and he's connected to terrorist groups.
Yeah.
And what about all the stabbings that are going on in London that nothing's getting done about? Because he's letting the gangs run amok. And if anybody complains, the police come and arrest them.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you can see what's happening in South Africa, which we've been following you for, as you know, we've put all the stuff, we support you 100%. But you can see the comparisons of where it all started back with you, little knife crime here, little knife crime there. It's starting already.
And if you don't do anything about it, it becomes a nightmare. It just keeps going because nobody's dealing with it. And in the end, you don't have control.
No.
You guys need to get out of, you need to be out of Europe. Close your borders and clean your house.
Exactly. And that's what we're trying to do. They don't realise how important it is for everybody to get into rebellion, lawful rebellion.
What happened to Tommy Boy?
I don't know where that's happened to him. He's gone quiet. But we haven't been quiet, and we've never been quiet. We've always done what we're doing.
Did they put Tommy Boy back in jail?
They did, yeah. I think he's back out now, though, but he's just laying low a little bit for a while, I think. But we're getting the paperwork ready now to go and sort them out again, to show the people that lawful rebellion works. All you've got to do is back it. And
you know, there's an old saying. There's an old saying. It's like like the walking the plank.
Yeah.
Everybody's standing on the one side of the plank, and the politicians on the other side screaming. Yeah. And as one person steps off and steps off and steps off and steps off, that asshole falls in the sea.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen. Because listen, you got one person telling you guys what to do, and it's crap. You, the people. That's what people do. That's what the Magna Carta was all about. You, the people, not them.
Yeah.
You voted them in. They're supposed to represent you and not.
And that's why Article 61, lawful rebellion, comes in when the government is tyrannous and corrupt and they're not listening, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. You can go and take it back lawfully. And that's what we've got to do in this country.
Yeah, 100%. you guys have got a big problem on your hands.
Yeah. But I don't know what it's like in America. I think Trump's doing a better job than these scumbags here, because Bercow is the only Speaker of the House ever who's supposed to be impartial, supposed to be on the fence impartial, yet he's got more power now than the Queen and the Prime Minister. What's all that about?
Here's the thing too. So the economy here, our unemployment's like 2%. Unheard of. Our economy is booming. I mean, literally booming. The oil is unbelievable. You won't believe what's going on. We don't need nobody's oil anymore. We can produce more oil than anybody in the world now. We don't need nobody. That's why Trump has done such an amazing job. Listen, people say, oh, all the black people hate Trump. Believe me, I work with them, buddy. Everybody wants Trump. It doesn't matter what the media says. You go ask everybody in my street, they all say Trump. They're all driving around with Trump stickers on. Yeah. Everybody's got these hats. Everybody. Don't believe the news.
Yeah, exactly. Of course they ain't. Just like they ain't reporting what's going on in Barcelona and everywhere, they're not going to tell you the real feeling in America, because that'll just make everybody rise up anyway, because they need the narrative that everybody hates Trump, because they want their elites back in power. And if they put the truth out, that's never going to happen. All that's going to happen is everywhere else is going to rise up.
Exactly. Listen, Trump rebuilt our military after Obama decimated it. Obama fired over 30 of our top generals. Deliberately. All our experience gone. He made all the lieutenant colonels, all the colonels, anybody over 30 years, he made them retire. He decimated our military. But you know what? They never went away. They're still here. They're all waiting. Exactly. They're not stupid. And when Trump came back, he said, boys, if we need you, we'll call you.
And that's got to happen here. We've got to get all these people committing treason against this country. They've got to be brought to justice. You've got
Follow
to do
the
it.
money, buddy. Just follow the
Yeah.
money. It's always money.
Yeah.
All you got to do is follow the money. And as soon as you find that, you'll see what the problem is. Listen,
Yeah.
England was a Christian country. You allowing the invasion of your culture. And unless you stand up to it and call it out for what it is, how can you guys not go into some of your towns anymore?
Yeah.
How is that even logical?
Because like we said, what's happened is that little box in the corner, brainwashing, programming, and all it's done is, if you call it out, exactly what you said, if we call it out, oh, this is wrong, racist, xenophobe, blah, 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 and people are frightened. But they've got to lose that fear. You've got to lose the fear, because it's nothing to do with being racist.
No, it's about the logical right.
Yeah.
You got to be logical. Listen, if it wasn't for a few brave men and women, the world would be in a terrible place today. And it's going there again. It's going there again because we stood back and let it happen. And we thought, oh, it'll go away. It never goes away. It never goes away. It gets worse. You got imams running around England telling people to go again, to kill white people and to convert people into Muslim, radical Muslim. No, all Muslims are bad. But they also scared too.
Yeah.
They scared they're going to get beat.
We've got to liberate, but this is how I look at it, and people don't see it the same way, but I see it. There's lots of middle ground Muslims there who don't want what's happening. But we've got to stand up and take care of the problem so they can allow to speak out. Because they won't speak out as long as we ain't doing anything.
Exactly. And they'll tell you privately they don't like it.
Yeah.
But these other guys are using it for power. Listen, all you got to do is remove all these imams. Get rid of them. As soon as they open their mouth and they say something stupid, remove them. Have them deported. Deport the entire family as well. Exactly. Or put their ass in jail for life. Because listen, it's treason. If you want to overthrow a country with a religion, that's treason.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're removing the culture. Like I keep saying to people, it's not racist because if you went to Saudi Arabia, you couldn't go and say, right, we're all Christians, so we want build churches everywhere, and that. They'd say, no, this is our culture. You could probably have one church in one town, here and there, and you'll do it, but you're not interfering. Your laws are never going to become law here.
Go to Japan.
Yeah.
It's banned.
Yeah.
In Japan, it's banned. You cannot practice the Muslim religion in Japan, and you cannot build a mosque there. It's banned.
Because they know what comes from it. The minute you let one mosque get built, it escalates from there.
Yeah. The problem is that once this radical nonsense gets involved, it's over. And it's not, and you know, even the Shia law, the whole Shia law thing wasn't even, the guy that wrote it said, I never wrote it like that. You guys twisted it. They ignored him. It's not even it's not even part of the Quran.
No. Don't twist it. When you got people like Soros involved in all this, like now with this Extinction Rebellion the other week, them got paid £400 a week each to be there.
Exactly.
And do all that daft shit they was doing. But
Follow
a lot of
the
people
money.
don't believe it.
Follow the money.
Yeah.
And they're right. And they're right. These people are right too. The South Africans can't stand together either.
Yeah.
That's why I formed the United South African Coalition. And I said to people, if you do not stand together, We cannot fight this mess because they're deliberately divided. They go to the black people and they say, hate white people. They go to the white people and they say, hate the English, hate the Afrikaner, hate this, hate that, hate. And then everybody starts killing each other. It's the same as the xenophobia that was going on the other day. As soon as the xenophobia started, they were attacking Zimbabweans, Nigerians, all these other people. Okay? And guess what the politicians said? Why are you killing our brothers? Go kill the white people.
Yeah. And that's why, like, with us staying strong together now, and we've got this link between each other now so we can keep in touch. I have people like Antoinette following me and that, and she's talking to people who are this side, and eventually we'll all get together, South Africans and us, and bring back that compassion, empathy, and start sorting it out. Because once we get together, you can plan things.
Yeah, here's another thing. Here's another thing. South Africa was supposed to be the rainbow nation back in 1994 with Mandela and the peace accord and all that stuff, right? It's not the rainbow nation anymore. It's just dripping in blood.
Yeah.
Because there is no peace anymore. It's just a river of blood.
Mm-hmm.
There's no money left. There's no money. I can see the rand going to 30 rand to the dollar by December. Because they keep stealing the money. And anybody that invests is stupid.
Yeah. And don't forget, like you've said before, the white farmers, the farms are split between Mali, and when they get attacked, they ain't got no backup.
And the police won't go there. The police won't do anything. And now they're getting, but the thing is, the farmers are getting together and doing something about it now. They're averting a lot of these farm attacks and catching them, and the death rate's starting to slowly go down because now they're looking for them. They're watching them. People are starting to get aware. Listen, complacency breeds contempt. That's what's happening with everybody until it's too late. Listen, I've always told everybody, civil war will never work. You know why? In every war I've ever been in, and I've been in 4 wars in my life, every single time the politicians get involved and they screw it up. Because they sit back and they let us fight. And guess what happens? In the end, they deal the wheel for whoever they want, how they want, and why they want, and we're back to square one again. How many times has that happened?
Exactly. And this is what we've said. What you've got to do, you've all got to wake up and get rid of the problem. And the problem is the elites. It's the politicians that's the problem. It's the politicians who send your children to war, not us. Fighting phony wars for money and oil and whatever.
Exactly.
You've got to lose the fear, rise up as one, get rid of every country who's got a constitution, get into lawful rebellion, and get down and march down to the parliament and get rid of them. You've got to do it lawfully. You can't go down there kicking off because it won't stand unless you do it lawfully.
Do it lawfully and then send 1 million people down there in a parade.
Yeah.
1 million people need to get outside the parliament term to resign. Get out. Yeah. We don't need you.
Have the paperwork ready. Walk in with legal document paperwork, all in lawful rebellion, so you're doing it lawfully, non-violent, and tell them, get out.
Our biggest problem in the world today is central banks.
Yeah.
The central banks are creating all the wars, creating all the division, causing all these problems, and they are the problem throughout the world. Because what they do, like the IMF, African Development, all these guys, they loan the money and rape the countries, cause the divisions, create all this problem, and millions of people are dying because of money.
Yeah, it's all win-win-win. Because for talking's sake, Second World War, just for talking's sake, you had Britain Russia, Germany, France, all of Europe fighting each other. The central banks was right in the middle, lending money to them all to buy weapons because they couldn't lose. And then there was bombing the shit. Germany was flattened. And at the end of the war, what happened? Germany needed rebuilding. So the banks come along again. We'll lend you the money to rebuild all them cities, but you'll pay it back at an extortionate rate. Wake up, guys. It's all about this.
Yeah. And you know, the thing is, too, during the Second World War, well, before the Second World War, who do you think funded Germany? New York. People from New York. The Jewish community in New York actually funded him.
Yeah.
What did they need? He needed industrial diamonds. He needed industrial diamonds to get the industries back on their feet. So they gave him bags and bags of industrial diamonds. They also gave him money. And then at the end, he said, well, you know what? I don't want to pay them. I'd rather just kill them. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
And it's always the same. Anyway, Chief, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Maybe get together next month for something just for Christmas.
All right, buddy. Sounds good.
I'll stay in touch with you, Craig,
Yeah.
as always.
Yeah. Hey, to all the English people, remember you're English. You're not European. You're English, and you always have been for thousands of years. Don't give up your rights.
No.
For the pieces of 8.
Exactly.
Exactly. Anyway, buddy, take care.
Stay safe, brother, and I'll speak to you soon.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Cheers, Craig. See you later, boy.
Cheers.
See you later. Right, guys, that's Craig from USAC. Hope you now have got a better understanding of what's going on in South Africa. We've been pushing it for everything else, what's been going on, and we do try and keep in touch. He's been on tonight again, so just so you know, we've got to start sticking together, guys. South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America, Australia. We've got to all start sticking together and start getting yourselves, if you've got a constitution, get into lawful rebellion. It saves you. It will save you. You've heard it from Craig there. So, please, guys, spread the message for Craig as well, because top guy is the Hawk. That's his nickname, the Hawk, and he's goes all over the place trying to sort these problems out. One very brave man. But, you know, that's all we've got to do is just, like Craig says, stick together. That's all you've got to do. And we can sort this problem. It's just told you how it was all divided, but the farmers are now coming together in South Africa because they've realised the farms are split, so they've got to do something about it. So they are doing something about it, and it is going down slightly, but it's horrendous what's happening over there. And these little knife crimes and that are here at the moment, with the way the migration's coming, or these Nigerians, etc., coming over, it ain't going to be long before they start coming for your house, your property, stabbing you to death. Trust me, Craig's not wrong. It started little over there. Look how it's escalated. We've took our eye off the ball in this country, and we're allowing it to happen. And like I said, there's only 659 people in that building telling 60 million people what to do, and we're standing for it because we're suckers. Look at what Berco's doing now and everybody in the parliament. Why ain't they on trial for treason? When they keep saying we're going to get Boris before the court because he's done this and he ain't asked for an extension. He doesn't need an extension. We've voted out 2 years ago. The 2 years are up. We've gone, we've done, we've finished, we're out. And that should be a warning to every treasonous in that parliament. Especially you, Berco. You're doing the wrong thing. You're supposed to be impartial. Impartial my arse. And like Craig says, follow the money and all. Let's start looking into these people and following the money. See where it all leads to. And I bet you it leads to these big fat bank accounts for all of them. It's time to take that money and take the bank accounts back off them and take our country back. Because they ain't going to give in. They are not going to do it. The only people that's going to take back this country are the people. Politicians are never going to do that. They ain't going to lose the gravy train. They don't want to. Would you? Do you know what I mean? If you had 1 million people and you owed them all £10, just for talking sake, you ain't going to give them them £10 because you've got 10 million in the bank and it's earning you money, thank you very much. But if one of them knocks on your door and says, I want my tenner back, you'll give it that person, but you'll still keep everybody else's. Because it's human nature to do that if you are corrupt. Now, like I said, we work for free, always have. We've got the people's interest at heart and always will have. That's why we work closely with Craig and people like that. We push Craig's stuff out because we want everybody to know the plight in South Africa. And that's what we've got to do, guys. We've got to put everybody's plight out. And remember why they're not putting the stuff that's happening in Barcelona, in Italy, in France, on the mainstream media. Because if they did, the other countries would see it. Thank God for the internet, because we wouldn't know a thing. And that's what you've got to realise. If it wasn't for the internet, you wouldn't know a thing. So you just imagine how devious and sly your own mainstream medias in these countries are. They're all complicit in the treason against you, the people of every single country in the world. And it's about time you all stood up, did something about it, and get rid of them and put people in there who are going to be impartial, who are going to tell the news as it is, doesn't matter which way it is. But it's down to everybody else. So I'll leave it there, guys. I think Rick's going live at 9 o'clock, so I've heard. I haven't been in the last 2 days. I haven't been on or anything. I've been busy. But hopefully you'll listen to Craig and you'll see his story and you'll put that story out. You'll share this story for Craig, because this was about Craig tonight. Getting Craig on, getting the story out from USAC, because that's what we do. And it makes me laugh, because people say, your government agents this, your government agents that. If we was government agents, Bobby and Joseph Blair wanted to get against the government and put their story out, we give them the platform to do it. We was the first ones to do it, have them on the show and put their story out. We did the same with Tracy Blackwell. We're one of the first ones to jump and help Tracy get her message out. But we government agents couldn't make it up, could you? Like now we've had Craig on. Craig's going against all the corruption and the tyranny. But I've had him on here, but I'm a government agent because I've had Craig on here. You people need to wake up and see who's really telling the lies and who's really truthful. Anyway, guys, I'll leave that here. Here's my hand, here's my heart, and it is my right hand. Here's my wedding ring, here's my left hand. For all those who keep saying it's left-handed. But there you go. I'll speak to you all soon. Have a great weekend. Rick's on live at 9, I think, on YouTube. Den Tarragon. I'll speak to you all soon over the week. Me and Nath will be live one of the days. Talking a bit more about lawful rebellion and that. It's the way to go, guys, if you want your country back. Trust us, it is the way to go. Anyway, speak to you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.